Hi friends, today we are going to take a look at a few sewing patterns that we can sew for Valentine's Day. If you live in the United States and you celebrate the holiday, our national holiday for Valentine's Day is February 14th. However, for me, I love to celebrate Valentine's as a season and not just as a day. And so personally, I will be sewing a few garments and wearing them throughout the rest of February. But if you are someone who is looking for something really simple and easy to celebrate on February 14th, I am going to share with you a few patterns that you can sew in a couple of days and meet that goal. So I want to go ahead and start with the Simplicity S9224. So this is a pattern that come in the groups of sizes 6 to, I believe it's 14 and 16 to 24. So I have the 16 to 24, and I had the opportunity to go ahead and cut this pattern out. And so I do know a little bit about this pattern. I was able to look at the instructions as well. So as you can see, this is a wrap dress pattern, and it's a faux wrap. So you have a complete wrap for the bodice and a complete wrap for the lower part, but the two is sewn together, and then you have an elasticated waistline inside the waist there, and then the ties are sewn on the side of the body. So it's a little bit of a different wrap here. You do have a V neckline that has a band and dolman sleeves. You also have, again, a complete wrap for your lower part of the body. And so this underskirt, it looks as if this is going to be too short and your legs may show, but the underskirt actually go from side seam to side seam. And so it covers the entire front. So I really do like that about the pattern. And so I'm really excited to sew it. I was able to cut out all my pattern pieces. I don't know if I'm going to be sewing this month or not, but I am ready for it if I do. Now you will notice that, again, you have dolman sleeves here, and the lower edge here, I don't believe that this is a band. I can't remember all the pattern pieces, but I think we're folding the lower edge here to create a band, if I'm not mistaken. But this here is a band that you are putting onto the garment for view B. If you want to omit that, you can, and you can just have it without the band, which is view A. And then you do have a lower band for the hem as well. So if you turn on the back here, you'll see that we have 10 pattern pieces. And again, you don't have to use all those pattern pieces. I think the most you're going to be using is maybe 8. I think you have like an elastic guide. You also have those hem bands. So if you don't want to use the hem band, you can definitely omit the hem band. So you can sew this pattern with, I think, as little as 7 to 8 pattern pieces. You also have for your fabric suggestions, linen, soft cotton. You also have chambray and silky type fabrics and batiks. So I think this would be a really nice romantic sewing pattern for the holidays. And I think it would be also very easy to sew. Now, if you are familiar with the BHM Pattern Designers Challenge, this is a Black History challenge that Natita of So Natural Dang hosts every year. And this year she is on a retreat. So last year she did a retreat, and this year she's doing a retreat as well. But in addition to that retreat, she is hosting the challenge as well. So last year I made this pattern here. It is the Nomi ME2046 by Beauty J'adore. Her name is actually Nikki Brooks, but she goes by Beauty J'adore. And this is under the Nomi brand by Mimi G. And I sewed this last year, and I had so much fun sewing it. As you can tell, this is a tunic, but I made mine in a dress. I also have a pattern review on my channel. So if you're interested in knowing more about the pattern, go ahead and watch that pattern review, and you can see the different versions that I've made, and you can see all about the pattern. I talk more in detail about the pattern and changes I've made and things that I did in order to achieve the looks that I have sewn. And so I love this. It only has, I think, 4 pattern pieces. So you have your front, your back, your sleeve, and your neckband. And as you can see, it has this cute little ruching on the side as well. So you'll be using elastic to ruche up the side of the sleeve. So it's a really cute pattern. It calls for knits, and I absolutely love it. So the fabric suggestions are stretch knits only, such as cotton, ITY, jersey, modal, ribbed, and sweater knit fabrics. And yeah, it's a very, very gorgeous looking pattern. And you can also use the pattern C as well, which is the stretch, I think, denim pair of pants as well. Next is this pattern here, which is the Vogue V1801. Now this also comes in two groups of sizes. You can get the extra small to medium, and you can also get the large to 2XL. What I love about this pattern is that it's very easy and it is figure flattering for everyone. It is a very loose fitting dress that has a deep V neckline. You also have pleats on the bodice, a raised waist, and front seams. You also have side pockets and invisible zipper as well. And so it is supposed to be very easy. And I would say that this is very easy for Vogue. If you are someone who is still learning how to put in zippers and things of that nature, you might not want to sew this just yet, especially if you're on a deadline. I have a few more Vogue patterns that I want to share with you, but I don't have them on hand right now, so I'll just put them right here so you can see what they look like. And the first is the Vogue V2008. Now this is a halter dress and it's close fitting. It's a lined bias cut halter style dress that has a front neckline that has gathers under the neckline, a binding that is encased. You also have a bias collar that ties on the back, and you also have like a slit opening on the neckline as well. You have a hook and eye closure, and you have baby hems. And I really like this one. This one's a little bit older, but it also reminds me of the newly released Simplicity 3100. So if you haven't had a chance to get a copy of that one, I would definitely say you can definitely go with this Vogue pattern here, the V2008, or there's another Vogue pattern. I don't remember the number, but it's almost identical to this Simplicity 3100 that was just released, and I'll put that here. And that pattern also has a very similar silhouette. Simplicity S3100 comes with a slip dress, so you could put that slip dress underneath because it is meant to be the outer fabric is meant to be like a sheer fabric. But this Vogue pattern here, you can sew with pretty much any fabric, and it also has like a ruffle on the lower edge of the skirt, similar to the S3100. So I think all three of these are really great easy projects that you can sew within a couple of hours and get yourself a really nice Valentine's Day dress. It is still fairly cold here in most parts of the US right now, and so I would definitely say get yourself a really great duster pattern or a bolero or some type of cropped jacket or something like that, and you can definitely pair a cropped jacket with this. So definitely love these three patterns, and I would say these three patterns are really great. Next, I like the Vogue V1841. So this is a really nice sheath dress. It is close fitting. It is lined, so you do have to watch out for that if you're not looking for anything that's lined. It has a slightly raised waistline with bishop sleeves and a cuff at the lower edge of the sleeve. You do have a really nice neckline that has like a peekaboo slit at the neckline, and you have hem piping. And I like this one because you get A, B, C, D cup sizes for this one. Now this one is rated as average, so it's not very easy or easy. So again, and it's probably because you are working with a lined pattern here, so just keep that in mind. Then the next pattern for Vogue that I really like is the Vogue V1842. Now this is a empire waist fit and flare dress. It's fitted through the bust. You have a bias cut slip dress that has a sweetheart neckline, a back invisible zipper. You also have baby hems for this one as well. and the front bodice has gathers as well. So I love all these different Vogue patterns that I think have like this really nice chic Valentine's Day look to it. So definitely any of these would be really great and romantic to sew. Okay, so I want to share with you a few more patterns, some easy patterns that you can use, and possibly my potential plans as well. Now, I'll give you some honorable mentions and also share with you a few fabrics and things of that nature that I want to sew with myself. And so, yeah, stay tuned and I will share with you a few of my potential plans as well. So this pattern here, this is the Simplicity 8178. This is a little bit of an older pattern. Now, if you're looking for something that's very, very easy to sew, this dress pattern here, view C, or even views A and B, if you like jumpers, I think will be so easy to sew. This is fairly easy. You don't have to do too much in the way of adjustments. You do have a little bit of cleavage showing with this one, but not much. If you are a bigger cup size, I would say bigger than a D cup, you may need to do some adjustments here. But for the most part, I think it's going to be relatively modest. This is a simple pattern that has a back, a front, and a skirt pattern. I don't even think you have facings for this. I think you are going to turn the neck line inward and just stitch it down. You do have bias binding for the armhole, but it's fairly easy. So I think this pattern here would be one for individuals who want to sew something very quick and very easy. There's this pattern here. If you're looking for a knit pattern, the new look in 6765. It comes in sizes 10 to 22. It's easy just for knits. Now, this here is easy now, but you do have to be careful because you do have, these are all panels. So you have 3 panels in the front, and let's see here, you have 3 panels in the back. So you're working with 6 panels and also a sleeve. So you just have to keep in mind, and I think you also have a neck binding as well. So you do have quite a few pattern pieces that you're working with, but in terms of like, you know, fitting and things of that nature, because it's a knit, I doubt that you would have to do too much in the way of fitting. With knit fabrics, depending on what kind of knit you choose, they're a little bit more forgiving than stable non-stretch woven fabrics. And so if you want something easy, I would say go with something like this. I sewed this pattern last year and I very much enjoyed it. It is a semi-loose fitting wrap dress, and this is the Simplicity S8832. I have a pattern review on the channel of this if you're interested in looking at it. You have so many different sleeve variations. You have 4 different sleeve variations, including a no sleeve variation. You have a flutter sleeve, a bishop sleeve, and just a short sleeve there. The front is a wrap, but the skirt is not. So you don't have this, the skirt is just a regular skirt. It's not a wrap skirt, but the bodice, you do wrap the bodice, and then you have your back. So you have 13 pattern pieces, but you're not using all those pattern pieces because you're not using every sleeve, right? And so, and every skirt variation as well. So this is fairly easy and I enjoyed it very much. And I think this would be a very nice romantic Valentine's Day dress as well. This one I haven't sewn, but I've sewed a Diane von Furstenberg dress pattern last year. I'll put the image of the one that I sewed up here, which is also a very easy one. I think it was the 2040, if I'm not mistaken. This is the Vogue V2060. This is a very easy Vogue pattern as well. Now, this one here is for lightweight stretch knits only, such as cotton knits, jersey, lightweight double knits, and fabrics like that. The one that I sewed with last year, you can use a knit or a challis fabric. And so that's why I chose that one, because it was a little bit more versatile. but you can use this one again if you're looking for a knit fabric. What I like about this one is that you can use the front as the back and the back as the front. So you can use it however you see fit. If you want a higher neckline in the front and not the back, you can do it that way, or you could do it vice versa. So I absolutely love this, and I think this would be an easy pattern to sew for Valentine's Day as well. Now let's look at a few of my ideas here. Now, this is a top that I am in the process of turning into a dress. I absolutely love the drape, the neckline. I love everything about this here. This is a Simplicity pattern. It's an older pattern. I don't even think that it's in stock anymore. But this is the 87-89. It comes in the sizes extra small to extra large. And you have two different bodices here. And you have three different sleeve options, actually 4 different sleeve options if you count the sleeveless option. You have a forward shoulder with gathers on the waistline. You do have like this little bodysuit panty thing that's on the lower half section of the body there, but I am using this as either a dress or a top. So I want to make a wrap top that is similar to the dress that I just showed you, which is like this one here. But the reason why I want to use this pattern instead of this one here is because, as I mentioned before, you have a forward shoulder for one. And for two, with this pattern here, you do have pleats. So you have pleats on the lower edge of the body, pleats on the top of the body, and you have a gathered sleeve head. There's just a lot more going on with this one here. This one, you don't have that gathering on the sleeve head. You have a forward shoulder with some gathering on the sleeve, but it's fairly minimum. You don't have any darts or pleats or anything like that. And so I want to give this a try. I also want to try the variation with the V neckline that don't have the wrap there. So, and that's the version here that she's wearing. This is A and B, which are very similar. This is a long sleeve. This is a short sleeve. And so I definitely want to try this. I think that it will be very promising. I've already done mock-ups of these, and so I'm very excited to see how it's going to look. And for the skirt portion of it, I did have to cut off quite a bit because I wanted to have a waistline bodice there and not have so much hanging below the waistline. So I did have to cut off quite a bit and alter the top. And for the skirt, I am thinking about using this double skirt pattern here to attach to this here. And the fabric that I want to use is here. So this fabric here. So I have about 3.5 yards of this. And so it's just enough to do a double skirt with a really nice romantic wrap top with no gathers on the sleeve. So it's really hard for me to find sleeves that don't have any gathers on the sleeve, but also that's not like a real big bishop sleeve or anything like that. And so that's why I chose this pattern here, because it fits my bicep without me having to do too much in the way of adjustments. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. And if I make a second garment, I'm thinking about using this fabric here, which is another beautiful, beautiful pink and red floral crepe de chine fabric there. So really love that one. This one was purchased from Minerva, and this one was purchased from Hobby Lobby. This is another Minerva piece that I think would be cute with that as well. I also have a few other ideas for this here. Here's another pattern that I want to sew, and this is the Butterick B6764, coming sizes extra small to 2XL. And this one's more like a romantic top as well. It has a V neckline. It also has really nice voluminous sleeves, but not too big. And so I really like that you have roomy sleeves. And so I don't have to do too much in the way of a bicep adjustment. And you do have a peplum. This one's like an asymmetrical peplum. I'm not really feeling A and C. I don't like the asymmetrical style, but I definitely would do something like this with maybe the sleeve review C. And for that, I would like to use this fabric here, which I think is very gorgeous. So that would be a nice romantic piece that I would like to use there. Let's look at a few more patterns. Now here are some honorable mentions. These may or may not be available in the store. Here is Berta 6305. This is a super easy pattern. As you can see, you're getting your front, your back, your sleeve, and a belt. And you have like a little keyhole opening up at the top where you could just slip it right overhead. I think in terms of Berta, this is going to be one of the easiest patterns that you can ever sew. The fabric suggestions are viscose, rayon, lightweight cottons, and crepes, and fabrics like that. So I think that would be very, very fun to make something like this if I don't make that that butterick top. Here's another Berta pattern. This is the Berta Easy 5803. This is another wrap. You can make this in rayon and challis fabrics as well. These types of dresses, I love these in viscose and rayon more so than cottons and poplins. I understand like cotton and poplins can be very fun to sew with and very nice and cool for summer. But for Valentine's Day anyway, I think this would be more romantic in a really nice challis or silky type fabric. I love that you have raglan sleeves instead of like set-in sleeves. And so I think that would also be very fun if I were to make something like that. This one here, I know this is probably no longer in production. This is a Cynthia Rowley pattern. This is the Simplicity S9098 in size 16 to 24. I love that neckline. I love the sleeves. I absolutely love this pattern here, and I'm surprised I haven't made it yet, but definitely want to make something like this. Now the fabric suggestion for this is silky types, crepe de chine, double georgette, burnout, soft, lightweight, cottons, gauze, cotton type, cotton lines, soft, lightweight linens, and similar fabrics. So I think that one's fun as well. And then lastly, I think this one's also a fun little pattern. Again, I would love this in a challis or silky type fabric. I think it would look so much better. This is the Simplicity S8833 and sizes 16 to 24. And for fabric suggestions, we are looking at petite challis, chambray, cotton types, gingham, shirtings, linen, those types of fabrics there. So yeah, I am looking at some of those, and hopefully those will be some really great patterns to sew with. I have been doing a lot of mock-ups, especially with the Simplicity pattern, that top pattern that I showed you that had the little panties on it, the bodysuit. I have been doing a lot of mock-ups with that, and so most likely I will be sewing something with that. So let me know in the comment section below if you sewed any of these patterns or if you are sewing any of these patterns currently. I would love to hear from you all, and yeah, I hope you all have a happy and blessed sewing week, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye.